Good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome to tonight's stream. And we're going to do a bit of TS Classic, I think, tonight. Just for a little bit of a change. Why not? Thanks, everybody, for coming in. Hope you're all doing well. Who've we got in? Jamie. I don't know if that was an earlier comment, Jamie. When's Preston to Carlisle coming to TSW5? We don't know yet. All we know is the end of this year. By the end of this year, I should say. Transport Gamer, good evening. How you doing? Mason, how are you? Dave, good evening. Strangely, I was playing West Coast Mainline North on TS Classic today. Can't wait for the TSW5 release. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good, isn't it? Lauren, how are you? Nice to see you. Sam, good evening. What's my thoughts on what the Loco DLC will be for this for the West Coast Mainline Over Shap? You mean? I don't know. I honestly don't know, to be honest. What do you think? Elliot, good evening. How are you? Joe, nice to see you. How you doing? I did see your comment about the Class 87. Yeah, you think you've nailed it. Yeah, it's kind of like with the 87 and the 86, it's kind of like getting a rhythm. Once you get into the rhythm, you can do it. It's just a little bit tricky at first. Honestly, when you've been in there 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then you'll pick it up. Good evening, Borbans. How are you? Right, shall we get going? So I thought, being as we've been talking a lot about West Coast Mail and Over Shap, we'd jump on it again. I've been on the West Coast Mail and Over Shap lots on the channel, but we tend to run the older stuff. Apart from the Pendolino, we tend to run the older stuff. So I thought what we'd do is we'd jump in the Transpennine Express 350 first of all. This is the, excuse me, that's my chest, still not right after a month. This is the Edinburgh to Manchester Airport service. And this is the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhanced Class 350, so this livery comes as part of that pack as well. This scenario actually is a 1 Mike 97, and this is one of the scenarios that comes with the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack. So I've not run this yet. Our first stop, by the way, is going to be Oxenholme, and I stress our first stop. You know what my track record is like with Oxenholme, but we're going the other way this time, so I'm hoping I can see it a bit better. I'm going to keep my eye on the hood this time. Let's take it off pause, shall we? And if I do that, get the hood back, we'll pop inside and we'll start getting it all set up. Why don't we? So master key is first, then we can go into forwards. Acknowledge that. US and AWS operational. Instrument lights. We want the headlights to day. And let's get the doors open, shall we? Let's just have a quick look outside. There we go. Bit quiet at Carlisle. What is it? 1:30 in the afternoon. So, yeah. What else can we do? We can do the GSMR. Why don't we do that? We are 1M97. So let's put that in. Oh, hang on. That didn't work out very well, did it? Let me just cancel it. That's better. 97. And signal. I already know the signal when we're at Carlisle. Here is 304. So we'll put that in and we'll register that. Stop, yeah. Hi Dave, how are you? Good evening. 156, how you doing? A full-on Oxenholme today. We'll just see. Yeah, place your bets now, says Andrew. Yeah. Oh God. Actually, I'm going to call it now. The 350's not got bad brakes. So, well, as you know, if you've been playing this on TSW as well. So, we'll give it a try, shall we? I think we're all ready to go. I can hear the doors closing. Oxenholme is in 50 miles if we care to stop. Right, we'll give them the signal. DRA can go off. And let's go. Hopefully. What have I done? What have I done? What have I not done? Why are we not moving? Hang on. Doors are closed. All right. Oh, I know what I've not done. It's the thing you don't have to do in... Right, let me take that off. It's the thing you don't have to do when you're in TSW, which is acknowledge the config. Okay, right, shall we try again? There we go. Hello, Mr. Oxenor. Great brakes. Terrible driver. Oh, dear me. You guys are cruel, honestly. We do have a great horn on this 350. Let's hope an Oxenham's tonight. Eddie, good evening, how are you? You'll definitely be taking the 350 and the 390 on this route. Yeah, why not? I mean, the era's kind of wrong, but, you know, as I always say, if you can get past that, then why not? You'll have bought the route, so, you know, use it how you want, really. Right. We need to distract near Oxenholme. That might not be difficult. Eddie says this is the best section of the West Coast Main Line and the most scenic. It is pretty scenic, yeah. The West Coast Main Line North isn't that bad. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all, but I know what you mean. This has got a bit of everything, this section, hasn't it? You hope Just Train sets the standard for future routes. I think they did with Blackpool, didn't they? We talked about that a few times. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, when they bring this one out, it'll be just as good. Let's just make sure we don't speed in this 20. Somebody get the biscuits ready for his meeting with the boss. Oh, you're cruel. You're so cruel. Once we get out of Carlisle, we can get up to speed. In fact, now we can do that. Evening, Si. How you doing? Excuse my throat again. It's still not right after all this time, so I'll do my best. Although I'm off work this week, which means I'm not spending nearly 8 hours a day in meetings, so that'll give my throat a little bit of a rest. Arup, thank you for the sub. Hope you're doing well. Right, underway. You don't get biscuits for these type of meetings. No, you'll get your papers, won't you? And that's about it. All good, Eddie. Yep, thank you very much. His eyesight isn't what it used to be. That is very true, actually. I know you're jesting. It's true. Oxenholme's just a request stop. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Sam Smith, how are you? We need Carlisle to Glasgow next, the first UK cross-border route. Plus, then we can do a full Preston to Glasgow. Yeah, that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? But then we'd still probably have to do the route hopping. But I mean, it would be good eventually to get the lot, wouldn't it? I just don't know. The difficulty is, you see, making all these different sections of the West Coast Main Line. So we've got the south now, which is it's kind of modern day. Then we've got the West Coast Main Line Over Shap, which is coming out, which is 80s. The only issue is the different eras and sticking it all together. So, you know, whereas we could do a full run all the way through, it's just not going to look the same, you know. I mean, that full run that I did, that I went all the way from Euston up to Glasgow, where, you know, I stuck all the different routes together and I did the whole thing in TS Classic. That looks pretty good, actually. You know, you can't really tell that much, apart from, you know, some of the scenery, some of the buildings, etc. are probably not, you know, like they should be in various parts of the route, but it's pretty believable. I don't know how believable it would be in TSW. We'll just have to see. Right, up to 90 there. We've still got 46 miles to Oxenholme. It's a good trek. Get the taxi firm on speed dial just in case. Oh, I still think that was the best comment about the request stop. We shall only ever have one Oxenholme, right? We might substitute Oxenholme for different stations that we play, but I haven't got the DSD on. I should have the DSD on. The only problem is I want to keep going out of the cab, and I can't really do that with the DSD on. It'll keep tripping me up. So I'm going to pretend the DSD is on. KH, good evening. How are you? You've just reminded me, actually, KH, when you came in. There is another TSW5 video coming out tomorrow night at 4 PM UK time. It's members only at the moment, but it will go live for everybody else tomorrow at 4 PM. And on that one, I'm taking a class 40 down the Burn-Naze branch. On the Blackpool branches, and we're having a chat about the Burn-Naze branch. So if you're interested in that, go and check that one out tomorrow, 4 PM. I think there's a few views on it, so a couple of the members have viewed it today, so there's a couple of likes on that already, which is quite nice of them. And I said you reminded me, KH, because I know you're one of the ones that's watched it already. You commented, didn't you? Right, let's get up to 110. What is the maximum speed of this? 100. Right, so we're going to stick to 100. Stick to 100. I don't know what traffic we'll see on this, by the way, because this is the AP scenario. So I'm hoping they've shoved a bit of stock in this that we can look at on the way past. I think I've probably got most of it. I think there might be an old version of the Pendolino, which Armstrong Powerhouse have now withdrawn. I think I may have needed that, but I think that's it. Best start braking now just to be safe. Oh god. Even I could brake within 41 miles, I think. David Drives, how are you? Good evening. Hope you're well. Peter, good evening. We're going to have Preston Carlisle 1980s. We've already got Manchester Leeds 80s. And we've got Blackpool 80s. Of course, surely the next logical step is to settle Carlisle, and could be, couldn't it? And that will be a very popular route for a lot of people as well, wouldn't it? Settle to Carlisle, very famous line. What are my predictions on when this will, or to when the ATS route will come out? And, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Things are going to get shoved around a little bit, aren't they? Because you've probably all seen the news this afternoon about the MBTA commuter route, which is the next route that was releasing, meant to be on the 29th of October, has been pushed back, I think, to the 12th of November now, because it's not ready. So, bit of a mixed reaction to that news, I think, from various people. But I think most people that are looking forward to that route would prefer it to be ready when it releases. They did that once before, didn't they, with one of the routes? I was trying to remember early on which route it was. But there's one of them that they delayed for a few weeks. It could have even been West Cornwall, you know. Can't remember. It was a while ago. But the ATS one, yeah, I'm not sure yet. I don't know how far along it is. What did it say on the roadmap? Was it in the 0 to 3 months section? You'll have to remind me. You're right about the scenery on this section of the route. It's quite nice, isn't it? Get some fisherman's friends. Yeah, actually, you know what? I know. They burn your throat out, don't you? They get rid of the issue, don't they? They completely burn them away. So, Godfred, good evening. How you doing? You're kind of new to the whole train sim thing and loving it. Can't wait for the West Coast mainline route to come out. You've got all the BR DLC as well. Excellent, excellent. The shots of the 87 are stunning. The extra ones they posted to Facebook, I did see those. Yeah, I'm not on Facebook, but I saw them in the Discord. Let's just make sure that we don't slow down too much. 35 miles to Oxenholme. But if you're not familiar with this section of the route and you've been in since the start, just make a mental note of how long the route is, because that's the crazy thing. You know, once you get this in TSW, just think about how long you're going to spend on this, just going backwards and forwards. 90 miles just between Preston and Carlisle, and then you've got the Morecambe Branch, and beyond Carlisle you get to go to Kingmore Yard as well, which is another few miles north, a couple of miles north of Carlisle, so you know you can go even further. The real Northern Transpennine is getting electrified from Huddersfield to Dewsbury from today. Oh, right. Ravenscliffe station has been demolished. Is that the one where you come off the little junction and it looks pretty dead? Is that Ravenscliffe? You know which one I mean? You come off like the main line and there's some cooling towers just there in our version of Northern Transpennine. Right, we need to brake this 80. Probably should have braked a little bit quicker, but evening, Farah. How you doing, buddy? That's Penrith Station, not stopping there today. And we're not scheduled to stop there, by the way, so don't worry. Are there any Welsh routes available? What do you mean? Are you? I can't tell whether you're taking the mick there, Farrow, or not, or whether you've been hacked or what. You know what routes there are. Uh, 90 miles. It will be the longest route, I think. Good evening, Stace. How are you doing? That's a nice surprise. It is. Oh, it is Ravenscliff. Yeah, I thought so. We're not scheduled to stop at Oxford. We're scheduled, but whether we will or not. Lots of people actually in comments of other videos have said, what do you mean doing an Oxenome? So I keep having to link the video. In tomorrow's video that's coming out, I mentioned doing an Oxenome near Polton Signal Box. And so I've put a link in the top corner to the Oxenome short, just in case anybody's catching up. Another 350 there. There's the M6. Looks a bit quiet on the M6 there. I don't know what it would be like going all the way from Edinburgh to the airport at Manchester on one of these. I don't imagine it's going to be that comfortable, is it? Why has it got a red livery? It wouldn't really have a red livery, would it? A Transpennine one? I don't know. Seems a bit odd. Maybe it does. Yeah, I'm always happy to see you. Someone has to. Evening, Peter. How are you doing? Been driving a 377 from Wembley to Milton Keynes. Now the timetable PC mod has the services in. Oh, right, you got the mod. Yeah, you're on PC. Yeah. Yeah, well, neutral sections. So I think neutral sections have been implemented, aren't they, by Just Trains? I would have thought they would be. For this 350, you can ignore the neutral sections. You can hear it drop the power, but it picks it back up again. I think most modern units do that, don't they? You'll hear it go on. It should do. Couldn't really tell there, but it does. You can hear it at slow speed. Speaking of which, let's bring it down to 70. The passengers are going to think this is terrible, whereas we know it's normal. There we go. Doing an Oxenome will be in the dictionary. It'll certainly be in the train simming dictionary, won't it? Or the glossary. Just like doing a Nebworth has gone into legend. You've got a new phone, so you're trying to log back into everything. That's called doing a backup first and then transferring it across. You've gone from Glasgow Central to Manchester Piccadilly. It's a bit of a hard ride. I can imagine it is, yeah. I mean, this is like a newish unit, isn't it? But it's not. I don't know. The Pendolinos are all right, but I don't know about this one. It always seems too far of a distance for me, that in a unit like this. Saying that, the couple of times I've been down to Dovetail, I've obviously been on the Southeastern High Speed. I've been on the Javelin. That's got to be one of the most uncomfortable like seats going. Talk about ironing boards. You're not kidding. Really is. That's Oxenham to the Urban Dictionary. Yeah. Looks like an SWT interior. Yeah, I'm not sure. It has got different interiors, so I don't know why. As I said, this is the AP scenario, one of the AP scenarios that comes with it. So it should pick the correct interior as part of the scenario. The APC magnet should open the breaker at neutral sections. Shouldn't rely on it though, so shut off for them. Okay. Sam, you're not the biggest fan of the 80s routes, but it's the length of the route that got you hyped. It is a long route. It is. You know me, I love the long routes. The long routes for me are the best ones. I'm not a great fan of all the, constant stopping. So they don't want you loitering and dossing on the trains nowadays. That's why they have those hard seats. Yeah, the Javelin. I was really looking forward the first time to going on the Javelin because because it's down south. Obviously for me, that's a long way to go down to the southeastern high speed. So having driven it so many times in TSW, I was just quite looking forward to seeing the route and getting on the train. And the route's great. The train's actually great, but it's not the most comfortable. I mean, I want to travel on a Zoomer as well. I'm going to say, you guys that have been on a Zoomer, you're going to tell me it's exactly the same as the Javelin, probably, for comfort. Yet the Pendolino's pretty decent. Going over speed. But this is the summit of Shap, so this is the highest point. Hopefully we get to use some of these loops, etc., for different things in the TSW route. There's a sign there, we just missed it actually, saying that it's the summit, and it gives the height as well. And you can see there on the hood at the bottom, we're clearly going steeply downhill now on the other side. You should make a comeback, Stace. Yeah, absolutely. You've been threatening this now for at least a couple of years. Just do it, is what I say. I totally agree about the javelin seats. Bloody torture. Oh, so the Azumas are the same. I suspected so, and I'm just going off what I've seen in TSW. I did think that. When I keep talking about those old, you know, when we've driven the 101, for example, in TSW, and I kept saying how springy the seats were. There was almost like big sprung coils in the seats. As soon as you sat down, you sort of sunk into it. You don't get any of that these days. You must have got more comfort in the 70s and 80s when you're on train travel. You got curly sandwiches and a strong cup of tea, but you know, you also got comfort. We got 16 miles to Oxenholme. Don't worry, I am watching. Oh, I'd never live it down if I go for Oxenholme. I'll probably slow down about 5 miles outside Oxenholme, and we'll be extremely late, I think. When you go to Blackpool, you love going from Carlisle to Preston. It's a good run up and down here. Yeah, it is a good run. I think that's why I like playing it so much in TS Classic. And it's just coincidence. I mean, we've played this route so many times, but it's just coincidence that the Class 350 enhancement pack has got 3 scenarios with it for this route. So that's why we're back on again. And I don't mind at all. I don't often go this way from Carlisle, you know, going south, so I thought I'd choose this one rather than go north again. In just a few weeks' time, if you pick this up for TSW5, you'll come to recognise all this. One of the best is the 385, same seats but very comfortable ride. The 385, got you. Happy days of sleeping on the trains in the 80s in the winter with ice forming on the inside of the window. It did, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Condensation, and yeah, they weren't very aired out, were they, on the inside? Not like today with all the aircon. Yeah, I get your Stace, yeah. You have to just see if you can, you know, make a little bit of time and give it a whirl. I presume all your setup's already there, ready to go from last time. Do the suggestions on the forums all get logged and sent to the developers, even external? I think Dovetail do keep a list, definitely, because they've often mentioned the most requested route, the most requested train, etc. So they do take notice of it, definitely. But I still don't know ultimately what they do to choose a new route, you know. There's probably various factors, whether they've got the reference material for one, which if they've already made it for TS Classic will be slightly easier, won't it? You know, whether they can replicate the trains that run on the said route as well. There'll be all sorts of different factors. It definitely won't be a case of just, you know, what is the most requested one. And some developers have got more expertise in certain countries than others, haven't they, as well? So it's like you can tell Just Trains have got a lot of expertise in the northwest and the north of England, so we may see a couple more from them around this area. I don't know. Right, let's try and get down to 80 before the speedboard this time, shall we? For once. This is T-Bay, by the way, this area. And the Loon Gorge. The Loon Gorge, there's some screenshots of it from the Just Trains route, and it looks really nice. They've done a great job. You know, some of the mountains and hills around here look really good in the Just Trains version. Yep, T-Bay, there's Andrew. Beat me to it with the T-Bay. What's the 80s? Oh, God. Dave, the seats on the cross-country class 200's not very comfortable. Only about 2 hours. Oh, Leeds to Devon. That's a decent trek, that, isn't it? What? Ouch! Yeah, there's Dave. Look, Dave's backing me up. Some of us remember the 80s quite well, as it happens. Right, there's just over 7 miles to Oxenham. Oi, oi, Potato, how you doing? Don Coffee does great route videos. Yeah, I think you said that as well, Potato, last time, didn't you? I also watch Don Coffee. I know Dave does. Dave Melody. Dave watches Don Coffee. I think actually, Dave, you told me about him in the first place a couple of years ago, and then I started watching them. Yeah, Matt has mentioned about how they choose the routes a few times. I know it's not easy to do that, and licensing. You're right, licensing's another issue. I mean, look at the West Coast Mainline South. They thought they had the license there for the 350s, and then suddenly they pulled out at the last minute, like literally the last minute. I don't know what happened there with that one, but I mean, hopefully they can work on getting that back. Must have been something major, or they must have thought they had licensing and they didn't, and then they saw it and thought, oops, nope, you're not having that. Warrington to Taunton, that's probably a good trek. You can't backtrack now, Stace. You can't, once you've said it, it's on the record. You were definitely calling Dave old as well. All the Daves. I think every Dave in the chat, unless I've got it wrong, every Dave in this chat remembers the 80s. Will the pacer layer on the West Coast mainline route beyond just the Morecambe Branch? I'm trying to remember I think it probably will. We don't know the details of the layers yet, but in real life, the Pacers, of course, went all the way up to Barrow in Furness. So, from a West Coast mainline point of view, that on that route would be Preston to Coimfirth. In fact, I think in the screenshots you can see the Pacer going through Coimfirth Station. So I expect we can go as far as Coimfirth. I don't know where the route ends actually. I don't know if it ends at the end of Coimfirth Station or a little bit beyond. I'm not sure yet until we get, the exact details. You only remember 1989, and that's barely. Oh my god. Just a kid. Just a kid. Oh, was it Peter? You might be right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on it, Dave. 2 miles. Trying to distract me talking about the 80s. It's not going to work. Not this time. Yeah, no worries, Potato. Yeah, thanks for popping in. Right, I can see Oxenon coming in on the right of the hood at the bottom, so let's do it proper, shall we? Everyone distracted quick. Oh, God. Let's have 25% break, shall we? The passengers are in the back sweating now. Because they're thinking they're carrying on to Lancaster with an overshoot. It's probably the same lot from last time. When we were in the old BI Blue, they're probably wondering... no, we weren't in the BI Blue, were we? We were in the old Intercity, weren't we? The Intercity 86 we were in. They're probably wondering why I've not retired. Because this scenario is based in... I think it's 2017, this scenario. So it's a fairly recent-ish. There is the platform. We're going a little bit less speed than we were last time we saw this platform from the opposite direction. In fact, we finished about here, I think. We're definitely staying this time. There's that scenery glitch again. That's weird. See that? Right across the platform. Very odd. Right, let's open the doors if I can get the camera angle right. There we go. Biscuits, chocolates, cakes, he shouts. Didn't work, did it? It didn't work. It would be nice to have some 37s blasting along. Yeah, it will be down here, actually. On this route. There's too many Daves. There's a lot of Daves on this, isn't there? Right, shall we go? Lancaster's next, just under 20 miles. Goodbye, Oxenholme. See you next time. Perhaps there is a famous Oxenholme, ladies and gentlemen. Quite a nice looking unit that in that Transpennine livery, isn't it? Bit unusual. Right, let's go. Due in at Lancaster at 14:25. So we're on time as well. This has got some distracting techniques. Lost all faith in these streams. Oh dear. Yeah, where is Animal? Animal's not. He's not shown up tonight, has he? I'm surprised. He must be off driving his truck somewhere. Oh, that's true. That's true. If we'd have done this in the class 50, Animal would have been straight in. And a double header, that would have been too much for him, wouldn't it? I'm just trying to think if I've got a class 50 in here. I think I have. An SWT sticker by the window, was there one? On this side, do you mean? Or on this side? Oh, I'm getting bombed by the trees. Could be. Yeah, 50s have been mentioned, so it's a matter of time. It'll turn up. It'll definitely turn up if there's a 50. Or even a sniff of a 50. He'll turn up. He'll hear it from afar. Hello, Richie. How are you? Ah. Oh, in the cab near the windscreen. Oh, you mean this one? This one. Yeah, it's red again, isn't it? Up here. Something's been blanked out there. Yeah, so if you've got West Coast Mainline South, you'll be able to take your own 350 on this route once you get it. No doubt somebody will do a Transpennine livery and a few others. In fact, I've already got the Transpennine livery. What am I talking about? I've already got that from Creators Club. Right, I'm going to try and stick to the 100, which is the limit for this unit. So we'll just bring the power down. There's no speed set or anything, is there, on the 350? I don't think. Which would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Just mention Hoovers, exactly. Should play the 50. Let's hear the power of the Hoover. Do you know what? In the next, I think I've got the DTG basic class 50 for this, and I think it's a bit naff. So what I might do, is get the enhancement pack. Once then, I think the next sale at AP will be around Christmas time, so I'll get the enhancement pack. They're a bit expensive when they're not in the sale, I must admit. So I'll pick that up. I think it is on my wish list actually already. And we'll definitely run some 50s, especially just for animal, really. That's the thing, Peter, as well. We could get one anyway for this. Now, animal won't be able to survive after that. If he hears wind of a 50 coming to TSW, then we're going to have to go around there and calm him down, I think. Who's going to put the police livery on the 37 complete with the light on the roof? Do you know what, KH? In the AP 37 pack that I've got, that livery is included, that police livery. I haven't run it yet, but it is included, surprisingly enough. Another Transpennine 350 there. Yeah, so I would normally get Pendolinos going up here as well, but I don't have the right Pendolino, so unfortunately we're not going to see any of those. It's the Virgin ones. The water-soluble paint, is it what, the police one? Was that what it was? They sort of wanted to temporarily paint it, and they knew it would come off, and then it didn't. I assume that's what you're referring to, Dave. It was just for that one advert on TV, was it? The police livery that Virgin put on a 47, did they? I've not seen that. I'll have to look that up. It was meant to be and ended up at Stratford for a repaint. I bet someone got a ticking off for that then. What did it do when they repaint them? I know this is a bit of a stupid question. Did it actually disconnect the cover? Not the cover. What do you call it? The shell of the train. Did they actually just literally lift it off the bogie, like, and take it in for a repaint and spray it? Is that how they do it? Or do they do it in situ with the train, you know, with the loco still fully built up? I know that's a terrible explanation for what I'm actually trying to say, but right, we're coming up to Cornforth. So in the next scenario that we do, we'll be coming through Cornforth, or we'll be coming up to Cornforth. But what I'm going to do is, we'll just have a quick look now, shall we, whilst we're here. So, oh look, if you pause it, the seats are like a purple colour. That's a bit weird. Yeah, so this is Cornforth. So again, you're going to be able to come up here in Train Sim World. That's Steamtown over there. There's nothing in there. I do hope for the Just Trains route we've got something in there. I mean, right now there's lots of coaches. The someone remind me what they're called. The maroon coloured, what they call West Coast rail tours are based there. So they've got all their stuff in there. There's always stuff coming in and out of Steamtown. If we come back here, this is the obviously this is the West Coast Main Line here, but then you've got the route here, which goes to Barrow. You can also go to Leeds this way as well, up here. This is where, if you're in the pacer, you will get the best flange squeal in the game on this curve, and I'm not kidding, because in real life it deafens you when you stood on the platform. There's the famous clock out of Brief Encounter, which Stace and Bourbons was even further back before the 80s. So there you go. Look up Brief Encounter, you'll see that clock. The station Buffy, it's not depicted correctly in here, but the station Buffy is here. That's also famous from Brief Encounter. Then you've got around this bend, you've got the signal box, which this is meant to be the signal box, this building on the end, or one of them. Then you've got the line here up to Leeds to the right that goes off to Leeds. You can't get that in TS Classic, unfortunately. You can go a little bit around that corner, but that's about it. But this is the line to Barrow. So I have a strong suspicion that Just Trains in the future could make the route to Barrow, which will be a good route. We've run that before, haven't we, on the channel? So I think that'd be good in TSW. We'll see. But yeah, flange squeal. These porter cabins here, I used to work in these porter cabins when I worked for the civil engineers and British Rail. So I worked in those cabins, and then we were there whilst they built this building. This building was being built in the car park. This is the station car park. And they built this building, and I worked about that window. So I used to look out on Steamtown and the station and watch everything sort of flying past there. In mid-90s, I would say that is. I've worked at a few places on the railways, you know. Carlisle, Preston, Manchester, just to name a few. And yeah, it was all right, because it's quite easy to get to Carlisle from Preston. So, but we'll say a little bit more of Carlisle. We love a squeaky flange. Some are stripped down, some are painted. Right, I wondered. Yeah, I just wondered. Did I know the original 55 Deltics were built in Preston? No, I didn't know that. I did not know that. FSC, how are you? Just wondering, will the Shap add-on be coming to Xbox? It will. Yeah, yes, it will. It'll come to all platforms. FSC, yeah. Don't know when. Just before the end of the year is the only thing they've told us. So we're like, you know, we're coming towards the end of October now. Nothing will release over Christmas. So that means we haven't got a lot of weeks left. So soon, I think. John, thank you for subscribing. Hope you're well, buddy. Welcome to the team. Clearly not much work done in that office. Do you know what? I really enjoyed working there, and that building was new. And we were on the top floor, so we were the civil engineers, and we looked after the line from Carnforth up the Barrow coast, all the way to Carlisle, up that coast, up that Cumbrian coast. So I know I've mentioned this before to some of you on some of the streams that have been around for a while. And we were on the top floor, and the rail freight drivers were on the bottom floor. They had the bottom floor. So there's probably a photograph of it somewhere. The building itself. And by the way, let me just show you this. That is where we go off to Morecambe, up there. We're going to do that next. And I've got an AWS line, wouldn't you know it? Yeah, the building at Carnforth was all labelled up with all the rail freight signs and stuff. They've all gone now. I don't know who's in the building now because somebody else has obviously taken over it. But can I reset this? Is that going to let me accelerate? Maybe I've got to come to a complete stop. At least the recovery in the 350 is pretty good. Happy days at Carnforth. Did enjoy it. I was only young then. That probably had a lot to do with it. In fact, if you're in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, I think a link keeps scrolling up. If not, it's in the description of every video on the channel, certainly all the most recent ones. I'll actually post a photo of me and the rest of my team stood outside that building, and you'll see how young I look on there. But I'll post it in the Discord if I remember. And you can see it, and it is of that building. If you're interested in that, when that building was brand new, you can see Carnforth Station in the background. In the 90s, you would have been a twinkle in your father's eye at that point, because you're not doing anything to make me feel any younger, are you? You're on crutches, John. What have you done there, then? Morecambe Cabby, how are you doing? Hope you're well, buddy. Hopefully not long, Morecambe, yet. A few weeks, just a matter of weeks. I just hope today's announcement about the MBTA commuter being delayed doesn't have an effect on the release schedule of anything coming after it, which is what we don't want. In fact, let me just save this just in case we get any problems. It's always best to. Got Lancaster coming up in a mile. Sprain your ankle playing basketball. Ouch. It was not a black and white photo, thank you very much. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't one of those guys under the sheet, you know, where he had to go under the sheet and hold his hand up with the flash. You know, it wasn't one of them. Actually, I shouldn't say that because now you're going to say, what do you mean? I don't even know what one of those is. Anyway, let's prepare for Lancaster. Which is a slightly longer platform, actually, than Oxenholme. So we should be okay with this. Be great to do an 80-mile journey. In fact, Morecambe, it's 90. 90 miles. You got a 10-mile bonus there. This is Lancaster. Next stop, Preston after this. You've seen one of them in the movies. No lasers yet. We were good. We were good at Oxenholme. Don't worry about that. Disposable camera with the clicking thing. Cheeky get. It will be the longest route, Morecambe, exactly right. It will. This guy walking around in circles. It's a bit unnerving. Where's he going now? Oh, I'm glad he turned round. That'll make him jump. Right, onwards to Preston, 20 miles, give or take. Then we'll jump back to Lancaster, and the scenario I'm going to do is just a short one, which is the one I did in the video actually the other day when I went down to Morecambe, down the Morecambe branch. I stopped at Morecambe, but actually you come out of Morecambe afterwards and you go up to Kirkham. So, Kirkham, what am I talking about? Coinforth. There's too many cuz in train sim. So we're going out into Morecambe, Lancaster to Morecambe, then out of Morecambe back up to Coinforth. And in the scenario, it's the Leeds service, but as I mentioned, we can't go all the way to Leeds via this route, which is a shame in TS Classic. So we can only go as far as Coinforth, so we'll do that one. You'll get another look at the Morecambe branch, and then we've covered, apart from going Carlisle to Kingmore, we've then covered the whole route pretty much that we're going to get in TSW. Every town has a nutter at the railway station. Oh, there's a YouTube channel in that. There is. The Station Nutter. Is it 110 miles? It could be. Could be. I can't remember. But don't forget, it depends what you mean by. So it's 90 miles plus the Morecambe branch and the bit to Kingmore. So I don't know if that adds up actually to more than 110. So when I said 90, I was talking about just the bit that goes from Preston to Carlisle. There's the other bits as well. And when they mention a route length, they like to add all the bits up, don't they? When they talk about a total length of route. So shame the window's so small. Let's look at the scenery. Yeah, a lot of the modern ones are like this. You'll be okay in the TSW route though, because you'll get a quite a wide view from the trains that are included with that. And also, you know, if you're doing the 47, the 47's always a nice one to run, isn't it? And that's always got a good view as well from the driver's seat. You live in Carlisle and you're a taxi driver, always picking up train drivers at Kingmore, yeah. So how far then, Morecambe, is Kingmore from Carlisle station by train? Is it something, I want to say 2 to 3 miles north of Carlisle station? I've driven it quite a few times in scenarios in TS Classic, but I just can't remember. Morse code. I remember using the brick phones after the pigeons. Oh, God. Oh, it sounds painful, that, John. Next 2 months as well. Ooh. You'll literally be able to get your feet up and play some train sim, I think. TSW Midland Main Line, it's quite a good route. It had some trouble at the beginning, didn't it? It was a bit, you know, the scenery was a bit naff in places. And I think DTG had to step in and help them with a bit of that. But since then, now, it's one of the better routes, to be fair. Especially if you've got all the other layers from the various places. You saw me drive the Maroon 52 on there a couple of weeks back on the MML. And I quite enjoyed that. I've run a couple of those surfaces actually since then. Waiting corned beef, God, the mind boggles. Where exactly is this, Peter? I need a reminder to avoid it. Yeah, the view from the pace is good. The pacer going up down the Morecambe Branch is going to be brilliant. I have got the pacer in TS Classic, but it's only the DTG one from the equivalent, the TS Classic equivalent of the Northern Transpennine. I don't have the AP one. The AP have created a completely separate pacer. Rather than an enhancement, it's a completely new build. Again, that's on the wish list. It's 2.5 miles to Kingmore, yeah. So you've got the 90 miles to Carlisle, plus a bit extra for Kingmore, and then you've got the Morecambe Branch, so... "7 miles of your taxi, you got the long way around." And new taxi drivers did that. Yeah, settle to Carlisle. We mentioned that early on as well. I think that would be quite a good route to do. I think settle to Carlisle in TS Classic is one of the very early routes, and it's all right, but the scenery just could do with a little bit of an update. I don't think it's going to get it though, to be honest. I think in TS Classic it is 158s. And 37s, I think, is what you get with the TS Classic version. Let's speed up a little bit. I'm going a bit slow. Oh, you don't like the Birmingham route, Dave? It's not a bad route. I don't mind it at all. There's a lot of stopping and starting though. Okay, KH, thanks for coming in. Take it easy, buddy. I'm ignoring certain members of the chat. Talking about the 1870s. You're all laid up for the West Coast Main Line Over Shap. Just need the West Cornwall local. They're closing it. Oh, yes, I saw something about that. I don't know what that is. What have they shut down? The is it the forums they've shut down? I saw something was shutting down at Rivet, but I don't know what. Was it me that did the Euston to Edinburgh route? I did Euston to Glasgow, up the West Coast Main Line, Morecambe, on TS Classic, yes I did. Talking about the Birmingham route, I was on there yesterday on TSW. Something really weird's going on. Just if you've got the Birmingham cross city route, just spawn on foot at any time of day at Birmingham New Street, just walk along the platforms and look at the glowing benches. You'll see what I mean. They're all lit up, the benches, and as you walk towards them, they go dark again. So something's come in the. So the Birmingham Cross City route was patched in the mega patch last week, but I don't really know what it was they did. I was kind of hoping in that patch that they would fix the guide mode so it would work properly, but it's not. It isn't. I tested it. It's not working. You can do the guide mode, but the train doesn't move for some strange reason, so that's not fixed. I also thought they might put the static Pendolinos and 350s at Birmingham New Street. That's what I was looking for, and they haven't done that either. So I don't know what they were patching. But whilst I was walking around Birmingham, I saw the glowing benches. It's really weird. It's quite the amusing thing is that, you know, it's like in real life, Birmingham New Street downstairs. It's quite dark anyway, and so you're walking around and you have these glowing benches. It's almost like some kind of in-joke because Birmingham's so dark. But I don't know. Give it a try though, you'll see what I mean. I will eat you, how are you? The Cambrian coast, yeah. They're closing the website. Oh, right, the website. Right, got you. ScotRail Express was $6.99, and all the Swiss TSC routes. I agree, Dave. Yeah, Birmingham is quite quiet. It is quiet. The Birmingham New Street, I should say, is quite quiet. The route itself, I don't mind. No, I don't think. No, you're right, Peter. I don't think the layering of the 390s and 350s are a priority. But you know, when I went up to Glasgow on that earlier video that I did as part of the Cathcart Circle, we did it at the end of one of these live streams, didn't we? And then the day after, I went back and did a separate video on it, where the 350 was in and the Pendolinos was in. The amount of interest in that video, because people had not... I mean, I'd not realised. It was only for Sean in the chat. Sean was in, and Sean mentioned it. Sean's up in Scotland, so he's played Cathcart quite a bit. And he mentioned it, and he said, you know, just spawn in and have a look. So we did. I think it was Sean and Jason actually both mentioned it. The amount of interest in that video the next day, and people saying, how can I do this? How can I get the Pendolino to appear and the 350 and blah blah blah? But there was a lot of DLC required for that, because you need to be on the more modern timetable for Cathcart and various other bits of stuff. But yeah, people want to obviously see that kind of stuff at the stations, so it's probably not a priority for her. But you know, what a nice addition that will be though at New Street. It'll finally make New Street look how it should do, shouldn't it? Is what I'm trying to say. Finally. Right, we've got a couple of miles to Preston. Thanks everybody for coming in though. I hope you've all pressed the like button for me. That will be a massive help. Yeah, it's the 380 that's got the modern timetable. I was trying to remember which... No, not the 380. Was it the... Which one did we get last? Was it the 380? I'm trying to remember whether it was the 380 or something else. That was a single yellow, wasn't it? Make sure we don't spad. Evening, Animal. How you doing? Sorry for later, I forgot. We've had all the Class 50 talk now as well. You're going to have to watch the replay. There was lots of talk about you and the Class 50 and double-headed hoovers. It would have been too much for you to stand. So, you know, just go back and view the replay. What does SPAD mean? Signal past that danger. We went back to a double yellow, didn't we? Consider taking the like away after the Oxenham debacle. Oh God. Yeah, one day the whole West Coast main line, the whole East Coast main line in TSW would be a thing, wouldn't it? But yeah, that would be good. We've not had a spad for a while, he says. Any more TSW5 videos? Yeah, there's one. There's one tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock. Is scheduled. Members have already got it now. They can view it now, and then it goes to everybody else tomorrow at 4, which is Class 40 on the Burn-Naze branch. So we have a chat about the Burn-Naze branch and a bit of its history, etc. Whilst we drive it between Burn-Naze, ICI plant, and Preston, Blackpool branches. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Here we are at Preston. For that, it's in the scenario. It says incomplete. I don't know why. Isn't that weird? It didn't even let me stop. The scenario said, thank you very much. Bye. Crazy. That's really weird. Right, operational errors are speeding 4 times. Picked up passengers at 2 out of 4 platforms. We didn't miss any platforms. We did not miss any platforms. So I don't know what's going on there. That's really weird. Right, so that was that one. We're going to do the Morecambe Branch from the other day. So actually, I didn't need to do that. Let's go to there, and we want to do 2Y61. It is 2Y61. So this is actually on the Cumbrian coast. So the Cumbrian coast route incorporates part of the West Coast main line over Shap into it, if that makes sense. So you don't choose this from the West Coast main line over Shap. You need to have the Cumbrian coast installed. So we're gonna do this one. Preston looks nicer in TSW. It does. It really does. Yeah, it does. And there's another place I need to go down. I think when this route comes out, this next route that involves Preston, I'll do a little bit of filming at Preston. We'll do a little comparison, I think, even though the eras are slightly different. Crazy we're getting so many third-party DLCs in TSW. It's good though, isn't it? It's good because it means there can be more choice then if DTG are not doing them all. It's got to be good. P45, yeah. Did I release the doors at Carlisle? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird that. I mean, I stopped everywhere that it asked me to. So I don't know. Don't really know what was going on. Good afternoon, driver. Please check your briefing. So we're in the northern 150. Let's just pop in, shall we? We'll check the briefing first. Good afternoon, driver. You're in charge of 2Y61, 1605 Lancaster to Leeds via Morecambe. Once you've arrived at Morecambe, you'll have a 4-minute change around before departing at 1619 for the return leg to Berlin, and then from there you'll be going via the Morecambe Branch to Carlisle. Traction for today is 150.223 and the max speed is 75 miles per hour. Enjoy. So the calling points, Berlin and Morecambe, you've already been to those with me on the previous video, and then we do the change round at Berlin, then we come out of the other spur onto Carlisle. So it's about half an hour, something like that. Let's get everything set up. Get the doors open first. So put the master key on. Into forwards. Then we'll have the headlights on. Tail lights can go off. Instrument lights. Markers. Just wait for the GSMR to fire up. Let's have a quick look outside. Yep, the lights look good. Right, let's do this. It was, let's have a quick look. 2Y61 signal 245. Okay, so let's do that. 2Y61. Signal 245. Register that. Okay, cool. We're in business. Oh, you're a Northern Rail fan, Bourbons, are you? It's actually alright, this livery. I don't mind this one. Quite nice. It's more like passengers check your briefs after my driving. Oh, God. Right, it'll just be a minute and then we can go. Class 150 could definitely be in the Cardiff line. I think you've got something there. Right, brakes off. Off we go. Right, let's just nip outside actually. You can actually change the clag on this, and I can't remember how to do it. Because this is an AP 150 as well. I'll see if I can find it actually. I've got the manual somewhere. That's not speed. Where is it? Where is it? Keyboard controls. Okay, maybe I made it up. You can't alter the clag on this one. I could have sworn you could. Not to worry. Ignore me. It's got auto clag. I'm the only member in here at the moment. Yeah, everyone become a member. It sounds like your car. You got a 150 engine in your car, have you? You recently bought the Midland Main Line for TSW5. Enjoyed the locals. Good route, yeah. As I said. Place will be stuffed with members. Well, just trains. West Coast Main Line have London Euston and Milton Keynes into Euston. What do you mean? I will eat you. I don't understand. Right, that's the speed change coming up. Oh yeah, there you go, Richie. Yeah, Preston to Carlisle only. Get down for 25 as we go left off the main line. There's a stunning cafe and waiting room at Carlisle. I can't remember, to be honest. I'm trying to think when I last went to Carlisle. It'd probably be 3 or 4 years ago, I think, I last went. Gilly's not in tonight. Gilly's from Carlisle as well. Gilly usually comes in. He posts a lot of train photos from around that area on the Discord in the Real Trains section, which is always quite nice to look at. Pumpkin Chain Cafe, right? Yeah, yeah, I saw that, John. Yeah. Used to get 31s at Morecambe in the summer season coming over from Leeds. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be running the 31. I think you run the 31 as well in this in TS Classic. Of course, you could go to Heysham, and I think the 31 does a lot of the workings to Heysham in this version. It's a nice little bonus having this Morecambe branch in TSW, I must admit. This is perfect for the pace of this. Traveller's Fur, yeah, Traveller's Fur. So this is Berlin. As I said on the video on, was it Friday? Friday I did that video where we had a look at this following the release of the dev blog. The signal box has gone. We had the signal box, didn't we, over here, over this side in TSW, about here. And I think in TSW we're going to be able to operate these barriers, because it did look like there was some kind of buttons to be pressed. So we're going to have to get into the signal box, I assume, and we can work these barriers as well. So in this version, much later, this is 2015, this scenario, and the signal box is gone. This is a shame. Right, on to Morecambe. Never heard of pumpkin or Traveller's Fur. Yeah, Traveller's Fair, I remember well. You think ECML and West Coast Main Line are both good routes? Yeah. East Causeway versus London Commuter. London Commuter every time for me. Again, because it's the longest run, I think. You think it was just part of the signal box and probably not working? I don't know. Did you see that screenshot? Did you zoom in on it? I'm almost sure we're going to be able to press the buttons. Could be wrong. There was no mention of it in the actual dev blog itself. But those buttons to me didn't look like static scenery. They look very clickable to me. They should open up the Preston Dock branch. Used to love seeing 37s strash up there with tankers. One hell of a great... Yeah, it was. So when I was working on the station, at 6:30 every morning, they used to bring the big... I think it was cement trains. It was the double-headed 37. 6:30, right on time. Used to come through Preston... Not through Preston station, but off to... It's the other side of the parcels platform, isn't it? And then down underground. You can actually drive the Preston Docks branch in this Cumbrian Coast route. Surprisingly enough, not Cumbrian Coast route, sorry, Northern Lines, which is also done by on-track simulations. So you can, if you've got the AP37 pack, you can do a couple of services down to Preston Docks. It's not superbly detailed modelled, but you can go all the way down to where the steam railway is now, which is quite interesting. Let's make sure we get to Morecambe. No, well, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? I think, Animal. You might be able to play Signalman. It might be related to a scenario even. I don't know. Right, this is Morecambe, but it's very underwhelming station compared to the screenshots we saw in the dev blog. Right, let's get everybody on board. Now, what we need to do is change ends, and I can never remember. Like TSW, you got to shut down the cab. You don't really need to do that with this. I think you can just change ends, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to take the lights off. Tail lights on. Marker lights off. Is it going to let me? Yeah. Instrument lights off. And then it's pretty, compared to TSW, it's pretty straightforward. You kind of go Control Plus and you're down the other end. Seems a bit naff, that. I do prefer the walking about sort of side of things that we've got with TSW. Let's do the lights again. So we've got marker lights, instrument lights, tail lights off, headlights on, and then we've got to set up the GSMR again once it initializes. This time we are 2Y61 again. Oh, sorry, click that first. 2Y 61. Signal is 257. There we go. So we're departing Morecambe 1619. I'm assuming we're on time. We'll see. So yeah, Morecambe is a little bit different to what it looked like in the screenshots. Obviously, in the screenshot, the platform not only goes to there, but the platform also comes kind of down here. This is where the old station was. In fact, it could have even gone further. The building that is the station building in TSW isn't. I don't think it's depicted here, unfortunately. But I think it would be about here. Then Frontierland that you can see in the dev screenshots is here, where this industrial estate is. Excuse me. And so they've shortened the platform, and the station building is this little shed come sort of conservatory type affair, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Then we've got Morecambe Seafront over there. That's meant to be the Midland Hotel, I think. Looks better in TSW, but there's Morecambe itself. So yeah, we're all ready to go anyway. So we'll pop back inside. We'll take the brakes off. And we'll go back. Oh, let's take the DRA off. That'd be a good thing. And we'll go back via Berlin again. And then we're going off to Cornforth, and that'll be it. Need some oil on the brakes. Yeah, proper brakes, though, aren't they? Proper 150 brakes, those. Guy up did a great job on the 158. Yep, so it's a good unit. Stick your head out the window and reverse. The only Morecambe you're familiar with is Eric. Well, Eric Morecambe has got a statue on the front as well, but I think that only went up in 1999. Me and Animal were talking about that. So in the TSW version, that one exists, but it is there now. He's doing his little, his little dance he used to do. If you remember Morecambe and Wise. That's the branch off to Heysham up there. Which sadly we don't get in the TSW version, but it's fine. It's only very short. You find it strange the older classic has got working GSMR but not TSW. Well, that's because this is an Armstrong Powerhouse Class 150. I don't know if anything that DTG has done has got working GSMR. It tends to be just on the Armstrong Powerhouse stuff. But I quite like having it there. I've said it before. It just adds to the immersion a little bit. Yeah, what do you think of it so far? Rubbish. Well, hey, Dave remembers Morecambe Wise. You can't see the join you. Right, 3/4 of a mile to Berlin. See what I mean about the pacer, though? You better run up and down here, doing shuttle runs between here and Lancaster to your heart's content. It'd be quite good. And it'd be one of those where, if you want to do a quick service and you haven't got much time, the Morecambe Branch is going to be the one you want to do. Crossing ahead, says the sign. I don't want to go into emergency. Look at that, slight overshoot there at Berlin. Not much. Alright, not much. Maybe half the train. It's alright, there's hardly anybody getting on. Nobody saw it. It doesn't count as an auction home. Right, Cornforth is the next stop. Got 15 coming out of here very shortly for the curve. No, not quite an auction home. Wonder if we'll be able to do a DMU run from Carlisle to Preston as per reality. What, in the 101? That would be a pretty good run, wouldn't it? Put it in 4th gear and just go for it. Final written warning. Who's this chap waiting for us? They've told him to hang back. There's a dangerous guy coming out of Berlin. Very nice. Bit of Northern Trains action there. Can you overshoot something with a shorter name? Oh dear me. The Pacer. The Pacer never went from Carlisle, or did it, all the way down the West Coast Main Line? I doubt it. The 101 though, once you get to 4th gear, you don't have to do anything with it. You should be alright with that. Once it's up to top gear. Auction would be stopping short. Home would be an overshoot, yeah. We need an extra one for completely missed the station as well. Right, so we're coming back onto the West Coast Main Line now. Got a bit of cab sway going on, haven't we? Then we've got a 15 to switch us over, I assume, to the other side. At Hestbank. Are we switching? Or we're just joining, aren't we? This is where we're joining. You went for you, you went for the 101 from Liverpool Lime Street to Windermere. That's a good trek. No wonder. This is a nice place. This Hest Bank, you know. If you ever come up this neck of the woods, you go and park your car there. It's quite nice on the front. Wait till he overshoots Chapel on the Frith. Hope the sounds are decent for the 87. Yeah, they will be. If it's just trains, I imagine they will be. You overshot Tring, flew through it and not even close. We've all done it. We've all done it. Just because I do it on stream doesn't mean you guys have not done it. Carlisle will be great for train spotting. Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? If only Revit's 150 sounded this good, yeah. AP do. I've said this in the last stream that we did for TS Classic, that the AP stuff is often quite expensive, but you can tell the difference, can't you? If you've ever been next to a 150 and listened to it, and I'm no expert on sounds, every time, players in the community say that's not the right sound, that's the sound of the such a thing, not this train. Sometimes I can't tell, but with the 150, because I've been up close to it so many times, I can tell the difference. And also the acceleration on this compared to the one that we've got with the West Cornwall. Everybody said when West Cornwall came out, said the 150 is terrible with the acceleration. You put it into notch 7 and it hardly does anything. And now, having played this, I can agree with them, So if we do get a 150 for the Welsh route that's coming out, I don't think it'll be the Rivet one. They might take the Rivet one and they might, fix it, and then they might be able to backdate it for the West Cornwall as well. There's a 66. 2 66s. But here we are back at Carnforth again. Hey Bobbins, you've cut and pasted that. Oh yeah, there's Animals said it right there, cut and paste. There is no way he's got the spelling of that correct and everything just off the top of his head. He's a clever lad, but he's not that clever. Right, we need to be down for the 15. And then a 10. It's 10 all the way through the platform because of that big curve. I wonder if it'll... Let's see if the 150 does squeal through the Carnforth station. Like I said, it should. We'll see. But it is 10 miles an hour all the way through the station. We'll go out and listen to it shortly. You started using the AWS recently and realised very quickly you can't leave the train running. No, you can't. Then again, that's what it's designed for. You're definitely not meant to leave your seat, as Dave will probably tell you. That's right, Dave, isn't it? You were the driver on the East Coast main line, weren't you? I think from last time, if I remember correctly. Where's our stopping point? It's in 13. Let's go and listen outside, shall we? It should squeal a little bit. Can't hear it. Not in this version, but in TSW, it definitely should. Should be screeching around this corner. A little bit when the brakes go on. Let's get everybody off at Cornforth. In reality, the train stops way back down there. I don't know why the stopping point is this far up the platform. Nobody stands up this end. Not at all. Great Eastern Main Line, yeah. Great Eastern Main Line. Well done. Scenario completed. There we go. That's quite a nice little scenario, that, actually. So, as I said, in reality, this now would go off to Leeds, up here to the right-hand side. This is the way to Leeds. But unfortunately, that doesn't exist. So we can't do that in TS Classic. More's the pity. I would have liked to have done that. See, picked up passengers at 4 out of 5 platforms. We did pick people up, so I don't know what that means, actually. We didn't miss anything, so... so that is it for tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for coming in for TS Classic. We'll be back with TSW5 tomorrow, 4 p.m, with a recorded video from Blackpool Branches. So look out for that one on the feed. And I'm not going to read that out, Borbans. I'm not going to read that out. Oh, dear me. Yes, it is, Animal. Brief encounter. Brief encounter. And it's nothing to do with your underpants, by the way. That's a comment coming from the honourable member. Oh, I'm going to leave you all to it. Thanks for coming in. I do appreciate it. And have a good rest of your night. And I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye for now.
So strong.